did this the Cowboy Vittles way. Welcome back to another edition of Cowboy Vittles, a place that you can call home, a place that you can spend time with your family in the kitchen, learning some new recipes. Now, the other day we went ahead and showed you, the original hardtack recipe, and guess what? We're getting low on that one, so we're going to have to get that going again. However, today what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to show you another type of hardtack. It's a high protein type of hardtack. It's much like the same one, but it's got different type of flour. It's still just hard. It'll still break your teeth when you go ahead and eat it. Yep, there went a molar. Oh my gosh. Now the difference between these two here is that with the original hardtack, it used an all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt, and water and stuff. But we've got some different ingredients that actually will go ahead and give you some more flavor. Now we like it in our soups, our stews, and even for your survivalists and stuff, because it does have more protein. It's very healthy for you. You're going to need 1 1/4 cups of water. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of salt. You're going to need 3 cups of whole wheat flour, which contain about 110 calories per cup. Then you're going to need some amaranth flour, only 1/4 cup, and that contains 190 calories per cup. But remember, you're only doing 1/4 cup. And then you're going to need quinoa, just a 1/2 cup. Now this, we're going to go ahead and combine all together. And we're going to make some high protein hardtack today. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is some whole wheat flour. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off here. And we're going to take and open that puppy up. We're going to put 3 cups of that into our bowl, because you are going to need a mixing bowl. So let's get 1, 2. Let me get a little bit more. Here we go. We got about 3 cups of flour in there. Now what we're going to do is, here's another ingredient you're going to need, is amaranth flour. Okay, we're going to use about 1/4 cup of that, and I've already measured that out. We're going to dump that in there. Then what you're going to need is a 1/2 cup of, now some folks call it quinoa, some people call it quinoa. You know what, I don't know what to call it, but I know it's very nutritious and stuff. Now we've got a 1/2 cup of that. We're going to dump that in there. Now the next thing you're going to need is you're going to have some water. And I'm not going to pour it all in at one time, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start melting this together. So let's go ahead and mix it. And yes, I will add some more water as I go along, but I don't need it too gooey right from the beginning. Let's keep on kneading it. We need it to be not too moist, but not too dry either. So here we go. We got a little bit of a mixture in there, and things that we need. Now, what we need now is a little bit of salt. And we're only going to put in about 1 tablespoon. Because let's face it, you got to have salt in all your food. Well, most of us do anyway. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. That's good. Where'd that dog of mine? She can eat the rest of that high protein cracker and stuff. Let's go ahead and mix that up a little bit. And we'll pour in a little bit more water. We'll get that going. I love working with dough and stuff, especially when I have my gloves on. I don't have to clean it out from underneath my fingernails afterwards. But what we are going to go ahead and do is we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour down here on my cutting board, because that's where we're going to be rolling this thing out. Now remember, I told you there was a few other things that we needed. You need your cutting board. You need your baking pan. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on this thing here because I don't want to stick into the bottom. Let's set that up. We'll be using that shortly. And then we're going to go ahead. We need that favorite piece that my wife loves to hit me with. You know, it's called a rolling pin, for those of you who don't know it. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of flour on that. Now, one of the other things you're going to need, now I know a lot of folks, they might use a fork and stuff. I use bamboo sis kebab sticks. And I'll go ahead and break that off in half because I don't need the whole darn thing. Throw that off to the side. And I've kept the heavy end here. Now, this is our end product as far as after kneading this up. And as you notice, unlike pie dough, cookie dough, bread dough, whatever, it didn't take that long. We're going to put this down here. All right, now that's enough. I've got, as you guys know, I like to use my pizza cutter because I don't like to use knives any more than I have to, especially on things like this. So let's go ahead and get some of this off. Let's throw it over here in that bowl, because we're going to still use that. All right, now let's get this here worked down. I'm gonna tell you what, when you guys try this, you're gonna fall in love. You're gonna be going, I don't need to buy my crackers out of the store no more. Because guess what? Cowboy Vittles taught me how to make it myself. I think you need to throw just a little bit more flour on this. There we go. I'm going to be poking some holes in here with the flat end of this piece of bamboo skewer and stuff, because what we want to do is have this cook evenly and stuff. We want the air to get in there as we're doing this. We're going to flip it over and do the same thing over. And if you look when you're doing this, you'll be able to see where that hole was from the front side, and you just poke it right down through the other one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to throw that into this floured pan. And let me get this out of the way so that we can get a little bit of a view and such of what we're doing here. And we're going to do this again. And these holes, they don't have to be even. It don't matter. As long as you get a fair amount of them in there. So you see what I'm doing there? Kind of like a saltine, unlike these modern machinery that makes them all even. So let me see. I ain't got my spectacles on, so I can't always see where all them holes are, but I think I'm getting it right. You know what they say, even a blind squirrel gets a nut now and then. All right, there's another one. And what we're going to do, we're going to do this with all of them. Well, this is the result of what we went ahead and did for this batch of high protein hardtack. As you can see, it's got all the holes on this side, but if you flip it over, which I'll show you, it's got the holes on the back side as well. Now, it took us a little bit of time to get all this done, not a tremendous amount of time, But what we're going to do, unlike original hardtack, we're going to pop this into the oven at 375, just like we would the original hardtack. But the hard protein, you only need to cook it for about 50 minutes. So well, it's now been 50 minutes since we put our hardtack in the oven, and we got them all prepared. I've taken them out, let them cool down just a little bit. We're going to start filling up our jar and start getting that filled up again. Now I know that these are going to be good and tasty. They're going to be nutritious. They're going to be wonderful. As I told you before, we can soak them in our coffee. We can soak them in our beer. We can soak them in our soups and stews. You know, the way they did it back in the old days, and it's going to soften them up a bit. Now, these things aren't always the perfect size. Here's one size. Actually, I got one that's got a little bit of a hole in it. But it don't matter, because you know what? It's still going to taste the same. Alright, well, let's continue putting some more of these in there and fill up this jug, because I know we're going to use them. Now remember what I said, you can use them in your different soups and stews. You can eat them by themselves. But at the same time, for you survivalists and stuff, these are a great addition to your stockpile. They will last you for a long time. If you like our recipes, if you like what we do here, you know, click on the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. Follow us on social media. And I tell you what, come back and join us again as we bring you more recipes. In the meantime, Cowboy Vittles, come and get 'em.